Hello and welcome to the pod. It's MG Adventures. So, this podcast, I wanted to really get into adventuring, stuff that, is fun, and things that some people might not get to do, and talk about them. Vlog some stuff. I already have a vlog on the channel about outdoor climbing, which was fun to do. I really want to get into, what people think is adventure, what, jobs or different adventures people have went on, different adventures I've been on. I guess I'll just kind of get into my background, my lore as they call it, and kind of go through what brought me here. I really didn't get into listening to podcasts until maybe 2-ish years ago, and since then I really have been I want to do this. I want to get in front of a camera and talk, or get in front of a microphone and talk. I feel like some things that I have to say are things that people want to hear, hopefully. So I really kind of wanted to do something animal-ish, because animals are a huge part of my life. So I figured doing something like adventures would be fun. Not everybody can go on these. Not everybody can do the things that they want to do, unfortunately. The world we live in is very interesting. So I have really always wanted to do a podcast. Didn't want to do it by myself, because I think it might be more interesting to do a two-way conversation. But hopefully we get some guests on here. This will not be the set all the time. I might do some at home. I might do some out in the field. I'm currently at the horse barn that I manage. So I might do some out in the field, might do some in the woods. I feel like that part of it is going to be the variable, not the consistent. The consistent is going to be, centered around some sort of adventure. So, I am 26. I'm married. Obviously, the ring. We've been married for 3 years now. That has nothing to do with adventure. Just kidding. Marriage is an adventure. We've been on to a lot of places together. He took me to Disneyland for the first time last year. That was quite an adventure, I can tell you that. We've done a lot of things together that have been adventures. So, that's been fun. We have 3 dogs, 3 cats, 2 ferrets, 2 turtles, a bunch of guppies that we were supposed to feed to the turtles, but my husband got attached to them. So we kind of just have guppies now. We have a betta fish, and we have a raccoon. To the public or the authorities, I don't have a pet raccoon. So currently in his cage, he might come out and pop in for a second or two. I originally wanted to center around him, but not sure how I felt about that. So I guess the most recent adventure I was on was, it's already on the channel, the vlog, the Hillbilly Hollow. It was a climbing adventure. If you watch the vlog, I'll explain the middle part. So we went to Wisconsin, in the middle of Wisconsin somewhere. It's called Friendship, Wisconsin. Woo, Friendship. So we went there, literally outside a rest stop is a place you can go to climb outside, which they call lead climbing. We learned how to do it, or I learned how to do it a week before, and practiced maybe 2 days before we did that. So that's why I think that happened, the fall. I'll just spoil it. Spoiler alert. But yeah, I mean, I practiced for 2 days. He's done it before, so he kind of knew what he was doing. I belayed, I don't know how long we've been climbing now together, but I've been belaying for a while, so I thought it'd be pretty similar. But our weight difference was a little sketchy. So it'll be a while before I go climbing outside again. Let's just say that. But yeah, I mean, that adventure was fun. I like being outside. I like being in nature. I don't really mess with bugs. I don't mess with ticks. No. But any like the mammals, like I always like to see like deer and birds and chipmunks and all of that stuff. So that's pretty fun to see. And I'll definitely be mentioning that more as we go through the pod. I think I hear Cooney. But yeah, I mean, you'll see. I'll probably have my dogs in the front. Here he is. Hi, Cooney. What would you like to say to the pod? He's looking for his snacks. I have his snacks over here. So, yeah, he's the guest for today. I don't know what I was saying. I was in the middle of Zoomies and my son came out. So, here. Snackies! Here, let me give you some ASMR. So anyways, I mean, this whole life has been an adventure. Honestly, I mean, what life isn't? I didn't realize I was gonna be here. I didn't even think, like 10 years ago you could tell me, hey, I know you just got your license, but guess what? You're gonna be doing a podcast. Couldn't tell me. So that overall has been an adventure. It's just crazy to think about that I am doing all this. And not that it's gonna like go anywhere, anybody's gonna watch this anyways, but it's like crazy to think about that I can make something and, you know, really make my creative juice flow. A skeeter. And people watch it, hopefully. But I've really been inspired lately by Two Idiot Girls. Love that podcast. Love Drew. Love Dason. Y'all ever want to come on? I can come on yours. Y'all can come on mine. Hey, Lamo. But, I mean, you know, make every day an adventure. You know, you got one life, better live it. So, to think that, like, I can come here and, you know, hang out with a raccoon or, you know, take my dogs on a really long walk in the back or don't go in my backpack. Or even, like, I'm into plants. Like, plants are an adventure, too. Like, adventure is, you can make anything an adventure. Go to the store and make it an adventure, you know? So, that's, like, the basics of the podcast. I mean, hopefully have guests on that talk about adventures they've been on and talk about adventures they would like to go on. Like, I really want to go to Alaska. And I really want to see a moose in person. I'm really into animals like that. I wanted to get into animal photography or wildlife photography for a while. Still might do that. But I just want to do something creative. I want to figure out what speaks to me, and this kind of speaks to me. So I looked up some questions about adventuring to kind of hopefully get my shit started. So, what's the biggest adventure you have had in your life? I have had a lot. I've been blessed to go many places. I think the biggest one, the most recent one, was probably Disneyland. That was pretty fun. Never been there. Really enjoyed it. Really want to go back. I visited Trixie Motel. I'm obsessed with Trixie and Katya. Love their podcast too. Shit, I'll be on that. But I think going to California was really fun. That's the furthest west I've ever been. I mean, we went to the Boundary Waters in Minnesota. I've been there twice now. That was a super adventure. That's, you pack your stuff and that's all you got for the week or however long you're going. You have food that you have to, cook over a fire and add water to these like MRE type things. And I think that's a very different adventure. Not for everybody. I'll say that. Not for everybody. But I enjoyed it when I did go. And, growing up around horses, adventure was afoot everywhere. I mean, I went to horse shows, I went trail riding. I still want to get back into trail riding, and I just don't have a hothead horse here to ride. They're all crazy Arabians. If they don't come for me in the comments if you love Arabians. They have their pros, they have their cons. So that's another adventure. I mean, really, like I said earlier, every day is an adventure. With these dogs, I have 3 dogs, Gin, Juice, and Hash Brown. Every day is an adventure. Every day is weird and different and funny. But yeah, I guess I wouldn't really change it. I mean, obviously I'd like to afford to go different places like Alaska and Hawaii and, different places around the United States, different places in out of the country. But overall, I'd really enjoy more outdoor adventures. Not for everybody, like I said. But yeah, I mean, I would love to go on more. A bitch just gotta work. So, what are you most excited about right now as far as adventures? That's a good one. We may be planning a Disney World trip in November, I think. That I'm sort of excited for. A different type of adventure. I would kind of more categorize this as like a journey, maybe. I know from a young age that I've never really wanted kids. Been around kids. Helped raise my siblings, my younger siblings. If you're watching this, still love you. But I feel like I don't have the patience for it. I feel like I have enough going on with my dogs, with my animals. My husband and I, he has kids from previous relationships, and I feel like they're enough. I don't feel like I need to bring anybody into this world. So I have an appointment to get my tubes taken out. Woo! It was by a doctor who said as long as I understood the ramifications of what I'm doing, he's happy to do it, which is a breath of fresh air when it comes to doctors, because they're more like, well, do you have your husband's approval? Do you have the village approval? No, and it shouldn't matter because they're my tubes and I don't want them. Take them out, please. So I've had a lot of support for that, which is nice. But that's a different adventure. I'm excited about that. I'm excited not to have to put hormones in my body every month, every day. Like, I should just be able to live. So, and then this summer, I'm hoping to update the barn, renovate a little bit. That's an adventure. Painting the barn, inside, not outside. Building another shelter for the horses. That's something fun that I'm looking forward to. But overall, just spending time with the people / animals that I love. Adventure. I guessed. Yikes. For me, I guess it's more so not what you're doing, but if you're enjoying it, Like, I enjoy being in nature. I enjoy being with my dogs. I enjoy being with my husband and my family. And whatever we do is an adventure in and of itself. So, also apologies about all the outside noises. My dogs are outside getting their wiggles out. There. And Cooney is eating. So, all of that just to say, adventures are different. Adventures are, nothing is the same. Adventures look different for everybody. So, get outside, do an adventure. Take an adventure. Whatever they say. I don't know what they say. But I'm really hoping this podcast kind of takes off and, we explore other adventures or other things that people do that they enjoy. It doesn't have to be outside. It could be like, oh, I like to paint. Great, let's talk about it. What's the journey look like? What's the path look like, A to B or start to finish? So I'm hoping to kind of get there at some point. I'm probably gonna have my husband on. I'm probably gonna have my mom on, my sister, my mother-in-law, like all that kind of thing, just because everybody has something to say and I want to hear about their adventures. I want the people to know. So I'm probably gonna make a Reddit thread to get other people's adventures too. So if you see this and you're on Reddit, let me know your adventure or one of your favorite, most memorable adventures, good or bad, because there are bad adventures. I can tell you that. We can get into some bad adventures. So I'll probably be doing that. Since we're talking about bad adventures, let's just talk about bad adventures. One of the biggest ones that comes to mind is one of my horse shows. I think that I wasn't prepared. Yeah, I mean, if you can see, I'm not having a great time remembering it, but I was in a horse show. It was a pretty known show in the area, and it just didn't end well. My horse spooked, jumped a fence, almost jumped a big fence, and then we galloped back to the barn. Everything's pretty much black in my mind. Like, I can't remember much other than that. But I stayed on and rode through it. Obviously, I wasn't in tune with my anxieties at that moment. But I think if I had the chance to go back, I feel like I would have done better. Obviously, you can't do that. So, yeah, I mean, it was both of our faults. It's not the animal's fault 100%. It's not my fault 100%. He spooked. I was nervous. They can tell when you're nervous. I don't know who said that animals can't tell, but they can tell when you're nervous. Dogs can, horses can, cooners can, like, everybody can tell. So, he just knew I was nervous. He got nervous because I was nervous. Then everything happened, and I never blame him for it. It was my fault. So, that's one bad adventure. I mean, like I said, I loved going outside. I can't really think of a bad time outside, though. That's the thing. I mean, there's times where I've fallen down and hurt myself, but fucking everybody hurts themselves. So it's like, I can't really say that that's a bad adventure. I've done some things under the influence of alcohol that I probably shouldn't have. Those are bad adventures. Not really going to go into specifics on here, but I'm just glad I'm not dating now. Let's just say that. Glad I'm not dating. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just different when you think about it, and when you think back on everything you've done. Like, every tattoo is an adventure. I love getting tattoos. Haven't gotten one in who knows how long, but I want to get more to commemorate some adventures, you know? I want to try to get Cooner harness trained so we can go on adventures and I can vlog about it. Everybody loves some raccoon content. Speaking of, so we'll just talk right now while I pet him. See, he just loves it. He tries to steal my ring off all the time. Boop-a-doop. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's been on tons of adventures, and I mean, my husband got him when he was a baby, so it's not like he's out in the wild or, you know, a wild animal, but he's a cutie and we love him. So originally this podcast was going to be called Cooner Corner or Critters Corner or something about him, but I couldn't guarantee that he was going to be in every podcast. You know, he can't be a guest every time. I wish he could be, but he can't, because sometimes you'll be sleeping. Yeah. So, I mean, this will probably just be part of an introductory one, and then I'll kind of have everything set up to go so that it's like an hour long. I know some podcasts are like, you need to be an hour, you need to, talk the whole time. But honestly, this is kind of just to explain what the podcast is, who I am, what I want to accomplish, some background stuff about me. But this will be posted on the YouTube. I'm hoping to have episodes every week. They won't always be here, obviously, but they will be somewhere. And I don't know if we'll have guests. Hopefully. But, yeah, I mean, send me your questions. I'll put my email for the pod in the description. You can send me an email with questions or stories or, something along those lines. And then hopefully I will have some more content to put out later. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Follow me on YouTube. Hopefully be making a TikTok account. Not sure yet. I have one personally, so I may just keep that one and put like clips on it or whatever. Or like get ready with me. Or like come feed the horses with me. Something like that. I want to have more content like that too. And the short form content. Because I feel like people love it. I love it. I doom scroll all the time. Or like come eat dinner with me and Cooner or something like that. It's gonna be silly. It's gonna be fun. There'll be some serious, some not. Obviously, it's every podcast is like that. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.